Hey guys, so in this video I wanted to make a quick video addressing why Maingaining is kind of just keeping you small and weak forever. This is something that I have become increasingly more passionate about as I have began to coach more and more people as my roster has grown. And it's what I've anecdotally experienced and heard from so many kids and people. And I was one of these people too who fell victim to, I'm just going to call it out, Greg Doucette's whole theory of Maingaining, about how you can apparently, gain no body weights, gain zero body fats, and somehow get your way to being really jacked and lean and strong. Greg likes to use the dirty bulk fallacy of basically saying, if you eat in any sort of calorie surplus, you're just going to get fat. You're going to get obese, and you're just going to be spinning your wheels. He also claims that you can accurately track 30 calories above maintenance and says that's all you need to grow muscle. And he also says, controversially, that you can apparently not track that. So why even bother? And there's a few issues with this. So one, just the fact that it's just completely contradicting, and Maingaining is whatever the fuck that Greg wants it to be. It can be, just, he says maingain at a higher level if you don't feel good. What does that mean? You eat more food. That means you go into a calorie surplus that's moderate to gain weight. He also will say, if you eat in 200 to 300 calorie surplus, you're just gonna end up getting fat and, obese and whatever. And Greg has basically scared people into eating enough food, into actually liking training and actually making real progress. So my point number one with this whole Maingaining issue is that, one, maintenance calories are a range. You do not burn the same amount of calories every single day. Some days you might burn 30 more calories because you walked your dog, because you fidgeted more, because you talked more, because you're making a video like this, you're fidgeting around, like whatever. There's so many different ways your body can burn more or less calories during the day. You're not constantly going to be at the same body weight or same body composition all the time. And if you want to make any sort of changes to your body composition, you need to be more intentional with your calorie balance. You can't just say, I'm going to lose fat and eat the exact same. You need a calorie deficit in the same way that in order to build more muscle mass and more muscle tissue, you need to actually gain body weight. Muscle mass has mass. You need to focus on eating enough to support your training to actually gain weight and support that hard training, provide the substrates needed. Basically what calorie surplus does is it provides the substrates needed for hard training to actually recover and adapt your training more fast, actually build muscle mass and get stronger. Lots of times I found that people that have this focus on Maingaining, they tend to err more towards the under eating side of the equation instead of the eating enough to support their training, even just 100 calories above maintenance. And that chokes their gains, that chokes their ability to recover and progressively overload and adapt. Because again, the way that you get bigger and you get stronger is by, having right recovery, having enough energy, enough of the resources, appropriate training stimulus to actually progressively overload. And you need to have high enough training volumes to be able to make your body actually have that stimulus to actually get bigger and stronger. And if you're not eating enough, your body will not be able to consistently recover and adapt, or you'll not have as much adaptive proclivity, so you'll take like 3 years to gain 10 pounds of muscle mass, when it could have just taken you 1 year of, being in a consistent moderate calorie surplus. Number two, I really want to address this is where number one it comes from, is the fear of fat gain. It's something that I have struggled with. I come from an eating disorder background, and I see kids that go into fitness, they go on a Greg platform, as Greg has over 1 million followers, and he's yelling at the camera, saying, don't eat in a surplus, just Maingaining, eat wherever you're at, and you'll grow. And that's not true. And then he also says, this is the worst thing, if you eat in a surplus, you're just going to get fat. You're just going to get fat. You're going to balloon up to 500 pounds and be on my 600 pound life. People don't get fat from a moderate calorie surplus. People who get obese do so because they have some sort of, it's very complex. Obesity is a very complex thing, and yes, it's due to mainly overeating, by a lot of calories, basically quite a bit above your maintenance for an extended period of time. There are just, dysregulations that happen with your appetite. They can happen with your satiety signaling, so your feelings of fullness, and also there are some neuroendocrine pathways that do alter in regards to calorie surplus when you do get that big and like your overall response to food. I have an article about this all on my website, just called Your Brain on Tasty Food, that I did for my final paper in my senior year of my exercise science degree. So I'll link that down below so you guys can read it, so if you guys are interested in more behind that. But a 200 to 300 calorie surplus is like, even if you're not like training, you're not eating enough protein, is not going to be significant enough for you to actually gain fats at a super fast rate and get like really obese. Because if you do the math, for about every 3,500 calories is about 1 pound of tissue gain. So if you're in a 200 to 300 calorie surplus, let's just call it 250, okay? You're going to gain at most 2 pounds of body fat per month, and that's if you were to do zero training. Over a year, yeah, you will get to be, 24 pounds of body fat gain. Sure, that's what's going to happen if you're not actually training. However, if you're lifting weights, you're actually providing the signaling for your body to build more muscle and whatnot. So I like to use like generally about, let's say about a third to half of that, if you're natural, will be lean tissue. If you get to be on steroids, it goes up to about 2/3, maybe even 3/4 of that is going to be muscle. So you're not going to get fat. And the reality is that muscle mass gain takes a lot more time, it's much harder to do. So you need to be doing most of your career because you have to actually build things as opposed to breaking them down. And it's much more energy intensive and difficult for your body to actually do that, as opposed to just lose weight, lose body fat. Like that's very easy, it's very fast. Say you were to go in a bulk, you gain 2 pounds per month for 6 months. Let's say that you gain 6 pounds of body fat from that. You're gaining about 2 pounds on average per month. It's going to be about a 250 calorie surplus, right? That's a 6 pounds of fat you might have to diet off. That is roughly a 4 to 6 week diet. That's not hard. You can do it faster depending on if you wanted to go even faster, but it's not going to get you fat. And I've also, for people to need to understand this too. In order to have visible abs are a muscle. You can be super lean. Like when I was anorexic, I was lean. I was anorexic. I was like probably 5-6% body fat. I don't know, but I didn't have like really ripply abs because I didn't have the muscle actually under it. And lots of these skinny guys look at themselves, they get very lean. And I see this happen a lot of times with people who come to me like, oh, I dieted down. I didn't like the way I look. My abs didn't really look the way I wanted to. I just kept dieting down. I just kind of kept like losing muscle mass and whatever. But then, when they come to me, they start eating more and structured calorie surplus. We do, progressive training that's individualized to them, and more a nuanced dietary approach. They all of a sudden start this recomp effect where they are actually, their abs get more visible, they gain muscle, their training is going up. And lots of times, like they do get a true recomposition effect where they are gaining muscle without changing their body fat percentage, or in some cases, and this only happens in a deficit of a slight degree, they are gaining muscle while they are losing that fat. Because if you are, say you're about 15% body fat or something like that, which is still lean. If you're going down 10 to 10%, you still do have the energy to build some muscle during that process. But if you're already lean and whatever, like you need to focus on building that muscle, and you will look better in the long run when you do diet down. The best way to make sure that you go nowhere with your training, you spin your wheels, is to not eat enough. I really highly recommend for everybody doing this, stop the whole Maingaining thing. You cannot expect any significant sort of body composition change. You're not going to get significantly stronger, significant body composition changes. Just like if you can't lose significant amounts of body fat, or really any body fat, if you're, just being around maintenance. Like, that's not how things work. You don't know what that value is. So be intentional with your goals. If you really want to get more jacked, commit to the process. If you're doing this properly, I recommend a 200 to 300 calorie surplus above maintenance, and you just be in that for the most of the year. And you're going to see significant changes. And you only have to diet down once or twice. It won't be that hard. And it's going to be very, very simple and very, very, very easy. And 1 year from now, you will be significantly stronger, significantly more jacked, much more pleased with your appearance than if you were to maintain your way to jacked. There's no way you're going to be able to be jacked at, 6 feet tall, 165 pounds. That's 185, 200 pounds, just straight up. And that's a process. So focus on eating enough. Training is so much more fun when you're eating enough. Fall in love with training. That's like the last thing I'm going to say. People that gain, again, they kind of undereat. They don't really make progress. They kind of start to hate the gym. They don't like fitness anymore. It's not fun. I think that you need to do what you ultimately enjoy doing. If you don't want to gain much more muscle, if you're happy with your current body fat percentage, you don't really want to get that much stronger, sure, eat around maintenance for the rest of your life. That's totally fine. However, if you want to change your body composition, if you want to get stronger, stop maintaining. Be in a 200 to 300 calorie surplus most of the year. Focus on getting stronger, enjoying the gym, eating, lifting big weights, feeling good. Fitness should enhance your life. And if your protocol is currently not enhancing your life, you need to change something. If you're not seeing progress and you're not enjoying it and you realize, hey, I actually really do want to make progress, change something, be intentional, be intentional with your nutrition, with your training. Stop maintaining. You're not going to get fat from a moderate surplus. And if you really want to get bigger and stronger, you have to embrace the long-term process. Everybody that you see at the high level that looks the way that they do, they put in the work. There is a reason why every elite powerlifter, every single athlete, every single bodybuilder, they do bulking and cutting phases because that's how you make changes. It's not maintaining. Get that out of your head. This is a 12-minute rant. I'm going to stop ranting. If you guys are interested in coaching, then click the link down below. Follow me on Instagram, and let's just get jacked and stop maintaining with all this nonsense in 2022. But frankly, I'm sick of it. It's causing eating disorders. It's causing psychological disorders. That's just not good. So let's just stop with the foolishness and this is how things work. Let's stop acting like it's just not how it works, because it's just fake news and I'm sick of it. So anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. Peace.